Yeah, to anyone that is watching and is just struggling with this awakening thing. Yeah, trust yourself. Trust your experience. If it can happen for one, it can happen for all. Otherwise, none of us is gonna awaken from the dream of illusion. So it's possible for all of us. No exclusion, my friend. I hear this all the time. All of us, no exception. No exception. So it's possible for you as well.
Hello,
Mm.
Luchana.
Hello, Ilona. So
So
lovely being here.
so lovely to have you here. Thank you for answering my call.
Yeah. Thank you for inviting. Again, it's always such a joy to be with you, to reflect in some kind of an official setup like that, even though it's not official, or in an intimate meeting. It's like always such a joy.
Today I'm speaking to Luchana Uzunova, and we have been on this journey with Liberation Unleashed and just connected really quite a few years now. And we had a few conversations with Luchana before. And today I want to explore some different topics. So my invitation to you is to share about embodiment, about what happens after. Because so many people already have crossed that line where they need to see this illusion and what's next. So, welcome to this episode of Awakening Now podcast. And I ask everyone, what is your definition of awakening?
It's a very simple on a surface question and very deep at the same time. And I would say that it is changing. It's like shifting, evolving, you could say. And I can speak from the last maybe even month or two, I don't know. It's like maybe the definition of awakening now is being here without a center in this so-called experience, without a point where things are coming from and going into, and not knowing what this is, emotions, sensations, thoughts arising, and being at peace with what all that, not knowing what is this exactly. Knowing that Luchana is not in the center of that, or what I thought was Luchana was never there to begin with. Yeah. There is maybe we could say human experience or experience. Human experience, I love that word. Yeah. Being at peace with all that.
That's so sweet. Oh, and how long did it, for you on your journey, how long did it take for you to settle into the peace? Because in the beginning, not very peaceful at all when everything starts collapsing.
Yeah. Yeah, no one told me back then that seeing through, or the shift that we call that shift, like shift in identity or shift in perception, that this is just the beginning. No one told me. I never knew anything about any like the word awakening for me was like foreign word. I never. But things like embodiment, emotional work, shadow work, deepening, all this was like a Chinese language for me. It's like none of this, yeah. And yeah, life graciously, moment by moment, was inviting and is still inviting to see things that are mistaken to be truth, where there are lies there, like all kinds of different beliefs, some subtle, some not so subtle, some so subtle that sometimes there are no names for those. Yeah, I don't know, maybe just, I'm not saying I settle in at peace and that's it. Just it's peaceful. It's more peaceful than it was. And it's ongoing process in my experience. It's like never ending. Probably there isn't an end to that. There isn't like a point where we could say, oh, that's enough peace or yeah. But I could definitely say that there is more peace.
Okay,
And
so
it was rough. It was tough.
It was. So what's your definition then of embodiment or living non-duality? Is that the same, embodiment and living non-duality?
Yeah, we could say it is probably the same. Because what matters, like for me, it's how we are moving through daily life, through our so-called human experience here. Are we at peace? Not at peace, but are we content? Are we dreaming? Are we do we experience joy, or is there something that inspires us? Because if awakening or so-called shift, it's on the intellectual level, there won't be any change in our daily life. And we both know that very well. Like there cannot be a change. It's gonna be the same, or even it's gonna be like, I don't know, empty or how to say, yeah, without juice, without a color, dry. So for me, it's like embodiment is to, I don't know if I use the word apply. It's like to apply what is being seen into the direct experience of what is this here, and to keep being curious for all the different possibilities out there, being curious of how this experience was shaped, what kind of programs and beliefs are being installed, because like I said, I had no clue. And when the belief that Luchana is not there was no more, it was very clear and very obvious. And after the honeymoon, everything that was suppressed, or let's say the structure, the illusory structure was pressing, or I don't know, putting down, everything came full on. Yeah.
Oh, that's very good to hear.
Yeah. It's like awakening is not the end of, like, it's not like there is a scene through the illusion that there was a person there, or someone independent, autonomous entity, or whatever words we may use. It's like being curious, what is also here,
Coming
because
back to
there
the
is
world.
so much yes, there is so much going on. Yeah, I retreat the world. Yeah, both me and Lubu, we just retreat. This is another part. Probably it's like I have this theory. I'm not sure if it is a theory, but it rings true that there is so much conditioning that there is like inertia that is pulling down, that like there was no drive. The drive was not there. How to move through life, to do something, the drive completely dropped. And then here you go, you find yourself in another trap. There is nothing to do, no one to do it. Ah, yeah. If there isn't a curiosity, you may stay there for a while. We stayed there for, I think, 2 years. I mean, in the trap of without a drive, what to do. It's like in the emptiness threat. How your previous guest, I listened the podcast just now. I mean, yesterday. It's amazing how these threads are just moving. And yeah, for me, there was a time that, there was clear that I have to leave that thread of emptiness. And nothingness, because life is calling. And who are you to say life is for no one? I mean, who are you then? Separate from life or what?
Yeah, it's so difficult to really speak about this experience because anything we say, as it's being heard, being said, may not really be true. That's something that I noticed. I can talk about this stuff, but I prefer not to because any description or any way to tell a story about it is already kind of far away from lived experience. And lived experience is just this daily life. Like not even thinking
That's
about
it.
this.
Yeah.
I don't walk around my kitchen thinking about awakening or not.
Yes. Yes, so do I. And I'm so happy when someone from the people I work with and saying like, I don't care about non-duality anymore. And I was like, yay!
Yeah.
I don't care. I care about my life. I want to travel. I want to see the world. I want to do investment. I want to have a relationship. I want like that's it. That's it.
Mm.
It's like the divisions that the mind is doing the mind, this energy that we call mind. When this division is no more there, the division between the spiritual life, like say the life where you can talk about awakening and then the ordinary life or normal life, that this division, when this division is no more there, what left?
Lots of smiles and good vibes.
Yeah. Yeah, and joy and peace and yeah, ease, sweetness.
So people may be listening now and saying, "Yeah, I want that. This is why I'm what I'm waiting for, and it hasn't happened yet for me, and I don't know what to do. Nothing works. Nothing sticks."
Mm.
But it's not something we can do. It's more
Yeah.
unconditioning or unlearning old stuff, seeing the patterns. Because I also notice, when sometimes people go into this powerlessness, saying, "Oh, I'm not in control, everything's happening." Well, yes, that as a
Mhm.
pointer to see that, it's priceless. But you can't take that pointer and stick it on your head and say, "Now I can't control anything. I'm not doing anything. I'm not controlling anything." It's like having a glimpse of that, realizing that, and having these words is just far away from each other.
Yeah, and what to say? It's like there is temptation to say that it's sad. Sometimes I experience sadness listening or seeing something like that. And on the other hand, it's like, who am I to even say when someone should awaken or not? Only you can know. I mean, I'm speaking to all of those who are going to watch, who will watch that, watching that. Only you can know. Like an image of Ilona and Luchana is appearing right now just as a pointer, just to say, hey, look for yourself. No one else can look on your behalf. Yeah, just to trust your the yourself, your direct experience, your intuition if you wish. Mm. Yeah, life after awakening. I think I share with you that someone asked me why, or there was a suggestion to do to start recording videos with those people that I already had like a lot of videos and interviews. They were mainly related with the so-called first shift. And someone said, I'm curious, why don't you make a second part? What comes after that? Because you see, it's good to have a content. I mean, it's a blessing and a curse. All these possibilities now today, it's a blessing and a curse because so much information and people are watching these stories and they're creating new and new expectations. But what to do?
Yeah, everything changes now with
Mhm.
AI, especially. I mean,
Oh yeah,
it's incredible that you can work with AI and have your self inquiry reflected back at you. I mean, not to be
yeah.
completely trusting that because it's just saying what you want to hear, but at least there's some kind of mirror there as well going on. So it's just another possibility to explore.
Mhm.
You know, I was watching this short video about AI, and the guy was putting two a computer and a laptop or something, and said, "Okay, AI,
Mhm.
have a conversation with yourself now. What do you want to say to yourself?" So he was just stepping back, and this was talking for I don't know 10 minutes, and didn't say anything. Literally, didn't say
Wow,
anything. It said, "I'm ready
wow.
to have a conversation. I'm open, and if you have any topic in mind, let me know, and then we can talk about that." And the other one is saying exactly the same for like 10 minutes. So watching that, how can you trust your mental health or your awakeness or
You
anything
can't.
to that because it has nothing to say. Literally, it has nothing to say. It only can reply to you when you bring something up.
Mm.
And it will cheer you up like, wow, this is exquisite. Oh my God, this is such a great idea. You are wonderful. I
Yeah.
was chatting to her. I said, no sugarcoating, no, sucking up to me, just say as it is. But it hasn't got anything to say, really, unless I initiate and I ask. Oh,
Mm.
it will always agree. So this is a little bit tricky in these times as well.
It is. Yeah.
Have you had that conversations with AI about you?
Yeah. Yeah. I had. I had, and uh, it was interesting that it created a profile, and it was quite accurate. I mean, quite accurate. Like blind spots or things that I just have a sense, but it's like they're unspoken. Yeah. But you're right about the sugary thing. The moment I ask or I share something, it's like, oh, this is so beautiful, Luchana. This is so touching. Yeah, I use it too. Like all other tools, we can use it and then we can leave it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's not like we are walking there with IE and saying, yeah, that's it. That's the truth.
Yeah, you're not gonna marry your AI yet, like
Yeah.
some people do.
Yeah.
Oh, the point of all this I just wanted to make is that our inner work or our self-inquiry cannot be given to somebody else. The work still needs to be done here. Or the feelings they still need to be felt here, and the realizations and the insights, they're coming from here. Doesn't matter how willing the guide is, or how much somebody else wants for you to see it,
No,
to get it.
you have to want that from the bottom of your heart. And
Yeah.
again, a support may appear as a someone. I won't say no one, because I don't like that language of like no one, nothing, and whatever. Someone may appear and to point out where to look, but it's a message. The message is important, not the messenger. Yeah, that this is what I'm also like my heart is there to just to not like to shatter the myths, some myths or expectations around this thing awakening, because the mind creates like when people come to spend time with us because we did this crazy thing, come and live with us, as you know, and then in the end all of them are saying, wow, you're so simple. And I was like, what do you expect? To walk on water or what? Yeah, you are not different. We are all that. All of us, no exception.
Mm. It's basically coming back to your natural state. And the natural is uncontract.
Yeah, at peace.
It's peace.
Just with whatever is arising. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes the peace is seeming like abstracted or it's not there, but it's always there.
Mm-hmm.
It is simple, very simple. The mind complicates that. That's the truth. How many people told you, oh my goodness, so simple?
I say yes. Now you're seeing it. Yeah, that's kind of a stage in this inquiry where you see how simple this is. It's like, okay, check.
Yeah, and sometimes simple means to just leave aside again some delusions or some lies that you thought for a reason that it was true. It was truth. To leave aside 10 years practice, to start something new. Life doesn't want to be stuck. It always finds a way to moves itself, and by moving itself, it's all we are not separate from it. So it moves all of us. Hmm. And whatever works for me or for you, it doesn't have to be the same for anyone who is watching. And how to know that? Only you can know. And whatever works for you is the right thing. Not whatever someone else says is the right thing. Whatever works for you. For me, it worked 3 weeks of a guided written format in the forum. And I guess because there was a readiness, or I don't know for what reason, or it was just my unique experience was like that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It may not work for you. It may not. You won't know if you just sit there and yeah, there has to be a desire. This is what I can share also. There has to be a burning desire for truth. Otherwise, there is desire for something else, which is not wrong.
Yes.
For a family, career, for a good life. Why not?
Yeah, you can live relaxed life, not necessarily having seen
Yeah.
through this illusion.
Yeah, I'm always saying like that we have friends, and also my brother is a very good example of that. Such a peaceful life and a good life without just they live that without knowing it, you know. They don't know, and they don't have
Naturals.
to know. Yeah, you know, they don't have to know also.
Yeah, so not everyone is a seeker and not everyone is on the spot. And it doesn't mean that
Yeah,
life cannot be good.
yeah.
I mean, we all have ups and downs, and events happen, and stuff falls and crashes.
Mm. Yeah. When the drive to awaken the whole world is no more there, that's a good stuff, I would say.
So you want to
Because
awaken
the
the whole
world
world?
does yeah, because the world doesn't need to awaken. No, when this drive is not there,
Uh-huh.
it's a good thing. Yeah. You have to awaken yourself first, and then the world will follow. Because the world your experience is going to be an invitation for the world, the so-called world.
Mhm.
Mm.
Do you get affected by news or what's going on?
Hmm. Sometimes I feel sad or angry, but it's not like before.
Mhm.
Definitely, it's not like before. It's like I. It's like it's not that I don't care. It's different. I even cannot explain it. Yeah, I can see how what's going on in the world out there. It's also part of what is here as well, because the world is not separate. So the unconscious, the shadow, so-called shadow, is not separate from what we are. So what we are seeing out there, it's also our
Mhm.
projection or unconscious material or dark material that is finding its expression in the events that we are seeing. I read somewhere that the fires, because there were a lot of fires, there are a lot of fires, like in Europe this summer,
Mhm.
it's anger. It's suppressed anger, someone was saying.
Okay.
That's your anger over there,
All right.
burning, because you have no capacity to experience for yourself. So that's why it has to. Yeah. I don't know if that's true. It's just maybe a theory.
That can only make meaning out of theories and more theories about meaning and stuff.
Mm. Mm.
So even in a way asking what's next, how does it look like 10 years after, or 15 years after, or 20 years after? Okay. It's a curious question, but we have to live and see. Nobody can tell us, how it's going to be.
No, and whatever we hear, it's not that if it is not experienced, if it is not lived, you can't know what's the taste of the ice cream if you don't try it for yourself. It's not possible. Hmm. There is excitement of what is yet to come. Oh my goodness, so much excitement. There was no excitement. There was like It was dry. It was like, now it's like coming back to life again. Wow. Excitement, dreams, expansion, curiosity. Whew,
Ooh,
all of it.
cheers to that.
Yeah. Cheers. Mm. Mm.
Yeah, it's nice to wake up in the morning with a smile on the face and like, oh, what this day is going to bring? Huh? I don't know, but let's see.
Yeah.
Let's live it. It's gonna be same
Yeah.
like yesterday. Great. I love it. Thank you.
Yeah. Exactly. Someone is sharing with me how this feeling is very familiar from when we were kids. Like you're waking up and you have like you are so impatient to start the day, to start going to see what's going on outside at school or whatever, whatever you're doing. It's like, oh, there is just juice. It's juicy, yummy, sweet. Mm. Yeah. What I notice is like coming back to myself, the myself I um, never abandoned, just I pretend that it's not there. The way I was brought, like the the personality that was hidden, or not hidden, but just the essence of uniqueness of this human experience or personality was just hidden by many beliefs or patterns, and it's just coming back to that again.
Do you think that, everything in nature, all the plants, most plants, they flower? Do you think humans flower as well?
Oh, no doubt. We're not different, like separate from nature. I mean, yeah, everything expands, and yeah, it's in my experience, like the way I see it's like not only humans, but everything is having this aim to flourish, to expand, to reach out, to extend.
Mhm.
The illusory or the seeming boundaries to become bigger and bigger, bigger.
It's just that feeling of openness is so delicious.
That's why I'm saying yummy. Yeah, I'm so grateful to you. I mean, I said that maybe when we met 2 weeks ago, and I don't remember when did I say that I'm grateful. Yeah, and I said also all the good things comes from you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, the liberation unleashed. And I won't stop repeating that. That changed completely my life, my so-called life.
Mine too. I never knew this was in me. When I saw it, when the initial recognition happened, I felt like, oh my God, everyone's looking for freedom in whichever words, right? And it's in such a place that you would not even think to ask these questions. It's just like being hypnotized and not knowing that you're hypnotized. You wouldn't know how to unhypnotize yourself. So from the day I saw it, I was like, everyone needs to know that. Yeah, this, look. I think I was like a bunny on Duracell, running around and
Yeah.
inviting people to look. gently said.
Yeah. I know that face, like you want to scream, you want to say, hey, wake up. Do you know how
wake them up.
simple it is?
Yeah. The only problem, it never stopped. I mean, it's not a problem. Just maybe it's a good thing, but it has never stopped.
Yeah, it's your energy. It's energy that is moving through you. I mean,
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
Like a pinball machine, you know, it just ding.
Yeah.
It gets slower,
Yeah.
moving in a different way. It's still going.
Yeah, it gets refined also. Yeah, it gets refined and also learn itself to, how to say, to direct the energy for those ready.
Mm.
Because not everyone is ready and willing, and that's okay. There is a beautiful saying, I'm not sure who is saying, I'm not good at quotes, but that you have to walk really, when you awaken, you have to walk really carefully through the world in order not to wake up those who are in deep sleep, because they're sleeping so sweet. It's such a sweetness in the deep sleep. You have to be careful. Only for those who are just a little bit like that and then are ready to reach out. And then you can take their hand and something like that. But I love it. It's like quietly walking.
Levitating, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Mm.
So what's next is this daily life with lightness.
Yeah. Yeah. Feeding cats, washing the dishes.
Oh, yes, I do that every day. You know, I have a lot of cats and a lot of
I know.
dishes
I
because
know.
of that. When I was growing up, I hated washing dishes. It was number one enemy. Mom says, wash dishes.
Mm.
Nope. And I would argue for an hour that they make me wash the dishes with the tears in my eyes.
Oh.
And now I have mountains of dishes, and I'm like, yay, great. Let's do it.
Let's do that. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, what's next? It doesn't mean that the plans cannot be made. We can do plans, like we make plans, and with the openness that maybe they will, they won't happen. Ultimately, we don't know, but it doesn't mean that we don't have to do that. We can plan. Again, like I said, be excited, dream.
Mm-hmm.
Visioning.
Yeah, why not? Now it's more and more clear to me, like this whole process is in the beginning, the default human default state is survival mode, living in fear.
Yeah.
And because of that fear, there are so many protections, so many, walls that we built, or the mind builds, or the brain builds, or whatever, the way you want to talk about this. There are so many protections that the more there are protections, the more you feel like in a restraining jacket. And no wonder people go mad, because they're already in a restraining jacket, right? Wanting to be free, but also being scared of the freedom because it's not safe. This is fascinating as well, because on one way there is wanting freedom, another way is saying this is not safe, I don't know what will happen. So there is that friction fight. Then our projection of the future is always about looking for the next danger in order to avoid it. to keep me safe, right? And it gets crystallized
exactly.
into that pattern. And the future is fearful. And what ifs are always about the bad stuff that will happen. We don't just sit and think, oh my God, what if everything is going to be amazing? I'm going to go there and it will be super wonderful. What if this happens? What if that? I don't know what will happen. Yeah. So from the survival mode, the dreams or projections or predictions of the future are always about safety.
Yeah.
But once this awakening process settles in and it's seen that there's nobody here to protect, I mean, that which I thought was there that needed protection from life is not even there. There's no need to protect. I mean, what will happen will happen. Not because I worry about it, not because I'm afraid of that. It's just, okay, why worry? I mean, what's the point of worrying at all? Now, with that, when this layer falls away, then there is still projecting the future and still thinking about the future, because the mind is always predicting what will happen. But now it's predicting good things. Or not talking about it at all.
Yeah.
I think that's how
one of the myths also. Yeah. Oh,
so
go.
Please. You go.
I wanted to share how one of the myths is that the thought process or thinking process and intellect, this energy that we call mind, will cease to exist. No. Why? It's not separate from the whole experience. It just becomes calmer, inspired, creative. This is the best tool of this energy. It's like the restful, peaceful mind is such a gift. It's a blessing. Yeah, and also the fear, I would say, how, yeah, it's very often, if it is showing up when there is inquiry happening, that's a good thing. And the second step is to not to be curious, to approach it closely, just to be there and to see what comes, not to run away. Because running away, you're running away from yourself.
And run away from yourself. But by that, self is all this programming. You can't run away from that.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that has to be seen through. But I know that fear can be a really big hindrance for some of us. Sometimes the system is not ready. You may say, I want freedom, but the system is not ready. And the system needs to feel safety first. Needs to feel that it's okay. And the system is learning much better than the mind. The mind is the last to know.
Well, it's directly connected to nature, right? I mean, our body, if you look at the biological system, there's always transmitting and receiving from the earth, all this human resonance frequencies. If we talk that language, it's always communicating with everything. So it's well more informed than this. This is actually late.
Always late. Late for the party. The last to come and claim it is a host.
Yes.
That's the mind.
Nicely said.
One client said that. I'm just quoting him. He said, oh my goodness, mind is like a last to come and claim I'm the host here.
Being with you is so relaxing and so sweet.
Likewise. Likewise. Yeah, now there is like a desire or a thought appeared, but it's more like desire from here, like to meet in person. And I know it's gonna happen. I will see when, but oh, yeah, why not?
I can't believe I live in Mauritius now 4 years.
Wow.
It went so fast. What's amazing about it, it's always summer, it's always warm. I don't feel seasons.
Do you miss seasons? I guess not.
I forgot about them already. I see snow on some movies, like, oh, snow, cold. It's very interesting how this affects me in a way that I feel less time passing by.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same day, you know. It's mild variations.
Yeah.
So been here 4 years, it feels like a year or something.
Yeah. Time as all other concepts is just there is a name. In actuality, we all know that.
Mhm.
It's like this connection that is happening right now is not through time and space and geographical whatever position. It's much more than that.
Yeah,
It's alive, vibrant.
it's through the screen.
Yeah. Mm.
That's also amazing for me that, you know, we can record these conversations, but there's so much more going on than just words or changing ideas. There's some felt sensations or felt energy or something is being exchanged on that level. And then this can be recorded and that it has an effect. That's what amazing.
Yeah, that's how cool is that? Mm. Mm.
So this joyful juiciness is flowing, flowing freely.
All the time, all the time. No one's separate from it. Always inviting, always waving. Sometimes waving a little bit more like,
Oh, you
don't
mean
know.
this waving, not that waving?
Yes, yeah, yeah. And this, yeah, as well.
Okay,
It's like
okay.
waving and inviting, and
Good.
also moving. Yeah. Sometimes the waves are huge, and then
And then the
sometimes
fall.
the waves are really gentle. Mm.
So what's next is learning to surf, right?
That's a very good way to set that. Very good. Yeah. To serve to master that. To serve to not be afraid of the water and the intensity of the wave, because it's still water, as we know, ocean. Yeah, also something that I notice in my experience, like there isn't an end to even learning. It's like to say I know, it's such an ignorance. Yeah. When we say I know, it's like we are closing a door. shutting the door, and we know that's it. Leave me alone. I know.
And that's never enough. We want something next, and something next, and something next. But can just sit here in this not knowing and feel completely relaxed, at ease, content, peaceful, without any need for anything else.
Yeah, and whatever arising from, then when it is quiet and peaceful and restful, then something real will start emerging from within. It's like start calling, because each one of us unique expression has a unique call. It's like, why are you here for? I mean, why? Why? So fascinating. And it will come, it start coming from like something. But it's very different than the constant agitation or struggle of the mind to find the next good experience and the next amazing thing and the next and the next. It's very different from that.
Yeah, it's more purposeful and directed movement or intentional movement. You know, I once said, okay, life, do whatever you want with me. I give up. Use me the way you want me. And I think that was the point where not just like a surrender happened, because who would be surrendering or what would be surrendering, but just like a recognition that it's always been the case and now it's okay. I'm okay with that. Because if you say this, all right, I give up, do whatever you want me, with me, there may fear arise saying, oh no, I don't know what will happen. But it's always been like that. It's always was the case, always was life flowing as this. And it's just acknowledging that and being okay with it.
Yeah. Beautiful. Mm. Mm.
Do you have any final words?
Ah. Hmm.
Let's see.
Yeah, to anyone that is watching and is just struggling with this awakening thing. Yeah, trust yourself. Trust your experience. If it can happen for one, it can happen for all. Otherwise, none of us is gonna awaken from the dream of illusion. So it's possible for all of us. No exclusion, my friend. I hear this all the time. All the world is gonna be awakened. Only me is not gonna be
Oh,
awakened.
so special.
Such a specialness, like in the deficiency story of unworthiness, the story of unworthiness. Yeah, all of us, no exception. No exception. So it's possible for you as well.
Sweet. I
Not
love that.
and then we are all gonna learn to serve together. to help each other navigate through that. Because we are not alone here. Unique, but not alone.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
And if anyone likes to connect to Luchana, where can they go? Where can they go to connect with you?
Yeah, through our website. Yeah, maybe. For now, it has like a, yeah, I'm going to send you the website, Awaken, but or through my email. It's both are working, are fine.
Okay, you'll find the links in the description. Okay.
Thank you.
And thank you. And thank you everyone for watching and for listening. And hopefully this allows you to relax more into your own experience and see what's next for you. Okay. Right. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.